Angels Care Home Health, serving Hayes and the surrounding areas, is a Medicare-certified home health agency providing quality skilled nursing and restorative therapy services to patients in their homes.
I would recommend Angel Care to anybody. They have really helped me regain my strength.
Angels Care is there to help 24 hours a day, and all services are covered 100% by Medicare for patients who are eligible. Angels Care Home Health. We serve patients.
I couldn't have survived this without Angels Care.
Eagle Community Television presents Community Connection with your host, Mike Cooper.
Hello and welcome again to our Community Connection from Eagle Community Television. Thanks for watching, and thanks to our producer, Jeff Durall. We're at the Moss Thorns Gallery of Art on the campus of Fort Hays State University with Assistant Professor in the Department of Art at Fort Hays State, Joel Dugan. Soon to be Associate Professor. Congratulations here. A little early, maybe.
Well, we still have a little bit of time for that, but yes, I mean, the ability to come up here for, my tenure review and the opportunity for the promotion will be something we embark upon. That seems so daunting still. Just with everything going on at the end of the semester, we're here in finals week, so it is a busy time. Speaking
of everything going on, you recently concluded a show at the Barton County Community College, but now you're working on another edition as well.
Correct, yes. I just took down, almost 3 weeks ago, 2.5 weeks ago maybe, I removed my show. And so I had essentially a show called Harnessing Balance. And what I was showing was a grouping of work from the last 9 years. And so the pieces documented some stuff that I had worked on at the end of my graduate study at Indiana University, and then paintings that I'm working on now. Talk a lot about perception, understanding of what is reality or what is focus. And so it was a nice opportunity. I did a live demonstration down there for them, a painting demonstration, and they taped it. And so they now have a video that they're distributing, and sometime soon you should be able to access it on their website. Yeah, it was a really nice experience. They have a beautiful gallery. I mean, that is a wonderful gallery down there.
And now you're a curator.
Yes, I was able to curate a show, and the show combines the works of 19 artists, and then those 19 artists are essentially from 11 states. And so it documents, it's called Finding Balance, and it documents this idea of the relationship between man and earth and the impact that we have in the space that we occupy.
Also available at the Dynas Cultural Center, I understand, right?
It stopped at the Dynas actually this last summer, and that was the first location. So now Barton will be our third stop. And then we are finalizing a deal to get it into the KU Museum into the fall. And so we have a website for it that's set up. And you can also access that through the Dynas Center because Dynas has a link to it still. Yeah, it's a wonderful opportunity, and it's nice to see the work kind of grow. Every time we have a new show, the artists are sending new work. And so I've had the ability to really interact with great professionals.
One of the reasons we wanted to visit with Joel is because he was an integral part in the presentation of Why Is Dad So Mad? The presentation by the book by Seth Kastle. And actually, you and Seth began the initial discussions on this, I believe.
Yes, correct. So initially, the contact had come through the office here in the department, and Lee Powers was the first to kind of touch it, our department chair. And he came to me and was really intrigued about the opportunity of getting a student the ability to have a real world experience. We think about that label of world ready that the university has, and I always found it to be very tempting as a prospective faculty member applying for a job here at the university, that we might be in a direction where we're giving them professional experience that simulates their possible field, right? And so I had Carissa, who was a student from Colorado Springs, and extremely talented student, and I paired her up with Seth, and we went through the ideation, and we went through all of the storyboarding together as a group, and then she started to illustrate these pages, and they're actually tandem. So tandem in the fact that they are done on the computer at first, and then we print them onto watercolor paper and she hand colors them. So all of the work on the surface in terms of line work is all done on Photoshop. And so she it was easier for her to make alterations or changes or edits using that method. And we've had such great success with the book.
And the illustrations then are hand-colored.
Yes, all the illustrations are hand-colored.
Amazing.
And these here that you see behind us are the originals. So these are all the original illustrations that were then scanned in and sized by my wife, Lindsay Dugan, who is the owner and proprietor of Tall Tale Press, which is the press and publication entity that is now kind of taking care of and leading the book series, because we're looking at least 2 books. There's a possibility of a third.
And the success has been reflected by contacts with Carissa then.
Correct. Yeah. I mean, the success has been substantial in the fact that, when we put it on Kickstarter, we were really hoping to just get it funded to help offset the printing cost. Because like with most printers, in order for them to run an on-demand print service, they would like to make plates. Ideally, you'd like to start with making a run of a couple hundred. And that's kind of costly sometimes for the author to take on that kind of investment right off the bat. And so they went to Kickstarter, which is a crowdfunding site, and they requested to raise $3,500 in 29 days. They were lucky enough to be selected as Kickstarter's staff pick within the first 12 hours. And within 24 hours, they funded the project with contributions that fulfilled it. I think when they were done, they were somewhere in the range of 70 contributors. And then after that, they started to get all of this news and press inclusion. So NBC did come out to town and flew a private jet out, and they spent a couple days here on campus filming, and so that was nice. That was very nice.
Something that you're interested in doing, Joel, you mentioned this earlier, is the real-world experience that you'd like to bring to the undergraduates in connectivity with not only the university, but other sources and also other faculty at the university. Talk more about that, your purpose, if you will, of the undergraduate project.
I think what really becomes unique, and this is something that also reflects my own personal experience. I started originally in undergrad in the design field, okay? And so what I saw was with most design majors, they were interning. Going into the summer of their junior year, they found an opportunity that simulated a real world experience. They would then leave an impression on that company or on that design house. And then often they would find that as a network that they could start to find placement. So I was in school and I decided at one point that studio arts was really a passion of mine, and I couldn't walk away from that. And so as a studio major, I asked my department chair for any opportunity. Luckily, we were given a mural, and I painted that mural for the Capitol building in Lansing, Michigan. And it's the only painting that adorns the walls other than the portraits that are made for all of their office holders. But it was a great learning experience, and from that point forth, I was contacted about murals and opened my own company and sustained it for 7 years. I try to simulate that for my students. So my idea is, how can I be reactive, or how can I be responsive, I guess I would say, to their individual interests and talents. Carissa is extremely quick draftsman. I mean, she can draw and capture characteristics that feel very heartfelt and honest. And so I knew that this was a direction that would be really good for her. And then whenever we got the opportunity, and this is something reflective of our class size, I have classes where I have 13 people in there, but I have the opportunity to work with them independently and have them on their own projects. So I kind of curved her curriculum for that semester and made the book her project. And I hope to do this with other students. I talked to Pauline Scott, who's the chair of English, and even talking now to Paul Adams, who's the new chair of education, or dean of education, I'm sorry. We've talked about the idea of putting together a humanities class it would need to be under humanities because we would put together English, art, and possibly history, and have them start to design their own books. And so that one student is doing the research, another student is helping to script the language for the book, and then obviously the artist is bringing the ideas to life. And then aligning them with a publisher where we can get these published before they leave the class. I just think that it's really essential. I mean, not to discount the gallery and their importance. I think that they serve as a great cultural entity, especially in this region. But as we go forward, studio arts are going to have to become entrepreneurs. You know, if you're coming out of a studio major, you can't rely just on the value of your paintings to pay all of your bills or, you know, to sustain your income. I think it's important that you have the ability to reflect what is your trade specific to your discipline. So in that case, you know, murals were my trade. And so that's what I try to simulate with.
And the undergraduate then gets exposure to a lot of different disciplines at that time.
Oh, true. Yes, they get exposure to a lot of different disciplines, and also they receive a lot of discipline when understanding how to work with many different professionals. You know, at the shortest or smallest avenue, I guess, you're dealing with a printer and you're dealing with essentially a publisher. And, you know, the biggest thing for them is how are they going to situate and stage their contract? How are they going to develop that invoice? How are they going to manage their time to meet deadlines? And then dealing with a client who obviously is going to have, you know, the need and the want to have input and to make changes that reflects their idea. So, no, I think it's essential. And I think that Chris is hopefully just the first of many that will continue to flourish from these opportunities.
And finally, Joel, if you would, for the class of 2015 graduates, what's the message from the Department of Art?
I think we are right now a central incubator, you know, to help them achieve their dreams. We really are letting the students know to, you know, dream big. And maybe the biggest sacrifice is to say, for 4 years of my life, I'm going to be completely involved and encapsulated in my studies. But those 4 years can change the rest of your life. So we really want to be an incubator. I think that's the biggest thing is let's get these kids world ready. Let's give them experience and let's get them positioned for success. So.
And I'm sure that President Martin would amplify your thoughts and your career ideas.
Oh, yes. I mean, we are wholeheartedly thankful to have her as a leader. So, yes, she is very supportive, very supportive.
Joel Dugan, Assistant Professor in the Department of Art at Fort Hays State University, our Community Connection. Thanks for watching.
Angels Care Home Health, serving Hays and the surrounding areas, is a Medicare-certified home health agency providing quality skilled nursing and restorative therapy services to patients in their homes.
There's not any words to describe their kindness.
Angels Care is there to help 24 hours a day, and all services are covered 100% by Medicare for patients who are eligible. Angels Care Home Health. We serve patients.
They saved my life.